fast should you be paying off your debt? Sometimes it can feel like you need to get rid of it as quickly as possible, but that's not necessarily true. Not all debt is created equal, and in this video, we're going to talk about the different types of debt and how quickly you should pay each one off. Debt is a complex and often emotional subject, and learning how to effectively manage it in a way that aligns with your lifestyle and your personality is a really important and helpful thing to do. I'm Lorianne, and as a money coach, a question I hear a lot is how fast should I pay off my debt? And the answer varies depending on the type of debt, the interest rate you're paying, your financial goals, and your personal circumstances. So today, I'm going to give you some general guidelines to help you prioritize and strategize your debt repayment journey. All right, let's talk about some different types of debt. The first one is credit card debt. Now, credit card debt tends to carry really high interest rates, making it an important one to prioritize paying off quickly. The interest charges can accumulate rapidly, significantly increasing the overall debt burden and making it much harder to pay off. So you want to start by making minimum payments on all of your debts while allocating any additional funds to tackle one card at a time aggressively. This is called the debt avalanche method, where you focus on paying off the highest interest rate debt first and make minimum payments on all of the others. I made a full video explaining what I call the intelligent debt snowball method, which I will link to in description, and this walks you step by step through how to create a plan to get out of debt really fast. Now, sometimes people ask, well, what if I have 0% interest on my credit card debt? Do I need to pay that off quickly? If you have 0% interest on your credit card debt, I recommend trying to pay off that debt before that 0% grace period is over. Because once it's over, and likely the interest rate that's going to be charged on your debt is upwards of 20%, 25, even 30% interest rates. The reason we prioritize paying off credit card debt quickly is because of those significant interest rates. It is a barrier for you to start investing and earning interest on your money. The speed at which you want to pay off your debt is largely dependent on the interest rate of the debt. We classify high interest rate debt as anything over 7%, because on average, you could expect to gain a return of 8 to 10% from investing in the stock market. So if you have a debt that is you're paying 20% on, like a credit card debt, it doesn't make any financial sense for you to go and start investing until you've cleared that debt. So that debt is getting in your way of building wealth and getting your money working for you, and you want to pay it off as quickly as possible. The second kind of debt we're going to talk about are student loans. Student loans are often a significant financial obligation. However, they usually come with lower interest rates compared to credit card debt. Depending on the interest rate and the loan terms, it can be more beneficial to focus on first building up an emergency fund to provide yourself with financial peace of mind, or to actually start investing in retirement accounts while you continue to make regular payments on your student loans. This is marathon debt. Now, that being said, it comes back to that interest rate. If you have high interest rates on your student loans, up over 7%, you may want to focus on paying these down even faster and putting more than just your minimum payment towards the debt. The next kind of debt is your mortgage. Now, a mortgage is a long-term debt. They are traditionally financed over 15 or 30 years, and they have relatively low interest rate compared with other types of debt. And for that reason, we can often think of a mortgage as good debt. You are getting to benefit from some advantages like the ability to build equity in a property, as well as to lock in your cost of living. Now, whether or not you should pay your mortgage off quickly depends, again, on that interest rate and your financial goals. If you have a low interest rate, meaning below 7%, you could actually treat your mortgage as marathon debt and make those payments over time. However, even if you're in that situation, I do recommend you explore making your mortgage payments as bi-weekly payments instead of paying only monthly. This will actually save you a significant amount of money in the long run and isn't a huge financial burden in the short term. So consider doing that, even if you are just simply going to pay your mortgage payments over time. Start paying them bi-weekly and you will save money in the end. Some people want to pay their mortgage off more quickly because they just don't like the idea of having debt. And you do save money the faster you pay off your mortgage because you will not pay interest for a longer period of time. Now, if you have multiple different types of debt, I would say that paying your mortgage off more quickly is one of the lower priorities because it's probably your lowest interest rate debt. Next, let's talk about car loans. Car loans typically have lower interest rates than credit cards, but higher rates than mortgages or student loans. Depends on the financing, so it's not always true. But again, you're going to want to identify what is the interest rate that you're paying on that financing loan. If the interest rate is over 7%, it may be wise to prioritize paying it off sooner. Alternatively, if the interest rate is reasonable and fits within your budget, you may have other financial goals that are more important to focus on first. When it comes to debt repayment, there is no one-size-fits-all approach. The speed at which you should pay off different types of debt depends on the interest rate that you're paying, your financial goals, what other types of debt you have, and how debt affects you as a person. Remember to strike a balance between debt repayment and your other financial goals. So, for example, I have a mortgage on my home. I locked in a really low interest rate, and I'm thrilled about it. And I'm happy to pay that mortgage off over time, even though I could pay it off more quickly. I believe a better use of my money is investing that money and earning interest and compound interest on that investment. Whereas my co-founder, Britt, has a different relationship with debt. She just doesn't like it, so she bought her home in cash. Even though financially it could have been more advantageous to actually pay a mortgage over time, doesn't matter because it's what makes her feel best. Remember that even with the best rules of personal finance, how they impact you still matters. So remember to strike a balance between paying off your debt and living a life that you enjoy. The higher the interest rate, the faster you should strive to pay off that debt.